Hello, Northbrook. As your elders, we're looking forward to this Sunday as we once again can publicly gather. And while we realize that this decision involves a level of risk, we believe that if we use wise procedures, we can help to mitigate that risk. You might liken it to so many of the other choices in our lives, such as driving a car, where we weigh the benefits against the risks, we choose options to promote safety, and we move forward trusting God. And with this in mind, we want to communicate with you regarding the adjustments we are making as we gather again. First of all, we know that there are many opinions regarding the severity of the virus and how the government authorities have responded to it. We would ask that as we gather, you respect the opinions of others in these matters, particularly when we gather together expressly to encourage one another spiritually and to worship our God. In my time at Northbrook, I found it to be a family where one is safe to hold different views and opinions, whether those opinions be educational choices, political parties, or even secondary theological views. It is important that we continue on this path and that our primary identity continues to be the gospel of Jesus. When you arrive at the building this Sunday, you'll find the front entrance doors and the back entrance doors propped open so that no contact with door handles will be necessary. Our greeters will be wearing masks and gloves. They'll look like they're ready to do surgery on you, but they're not. They're just wanting to welcome you in the safest way possible, and they will do their best to maintain the recommended social distance. We will not be printing paper bulletins like we usually do for the present time, and you will find inside of both entrances hand sanitizer, and at the front entrance we will have masks that are available for you if you desire to use them. But I want to make it clear that we will not require masks to attend or participate. I know for some of you, other people wearing a mask is an important thing. For some of you, wearing a mask is a burdensome thing. But we're not going to require them, but we will offer them to be used if you desire to wear one. You're welcome to use either the front or the rear entrance to the building when you arrive, but we want you to be aware that the rear entrance will be closed and locked after 9 a.m. when the service begins. So if you're arriving after 9 o'clock, you'll want to use the front entrance. You'll be able to get out the back entrance later, but if you desire to enter that way, if you desire to park in the rear, you'll have to walk around to the front to get in after 9 o'clock. We know that some of you by nature are huggers, for lack of a better term, and you can't wait to express your love for others in this way. You're the person who wants to hug everybody, and that's fine. On the other hand, and by the way, Amy Barta, I am thinking of you. On the other hand, others in our family aren't quite so excited to be touched, and I'm not going to name anyone in that situation. So Terry and I actually came up with a crazy idea. So if you think this is a dumb idea, don't blame the rest of the elders. This was a Terry and John idea. But to help with the huggers versus the non-huggers, we're going to have name tags available in the front foyer of the building. Some of those name tags will have the letter SD, and others will have the letter H. If you're open to being hugged, you can choose the H tag, and everyone will know that you would love to be hugged by other people. If you prefer to maintain the recommended distances, you can select the name tag that says SD for social distance. And if a person is not wearing a name tag, if you think the whole idea is dumb, that's fine. It probably is. But if you're not wearing a name tag, then we'll assume that you do not want to be touched and you want to maintain the social distancing. So those of you who are huggers, if you see somebody without a tag or with the SD, give them their space. Don't give them a hard time. Don't make fun of them. Don't make them feel uncomfortable. Show your love for them by respecting their decision in that. For a lot of you, it's normal to enter the auditorium when you arrive through the middle doors of the hallway, the doors that are directly across from the men's restrooms. They're recommending that we have one-way traffic. So to facilitate that, we ask that you enter through the doors in the back of the auditorium. And again, they will be propped open. They will be open through the whole service. And then we'd ask you after the service to leave, to exit through the middle doors or the front doors by the organ. That'll help as much as possible to keep traffic kind of moving in a circle instead of people running into each other. Once in the auditorium, we're asking that you maintain at least 2 chairs between you, or if you're attending as a family unit, at least 2 chairs between you or your family unit and the next person or family unit. I think that we should have plenty of chairs. We haven't set up any extra chairs, but we have, and you'll notice this, we have increased the spacing between the rows. So the rows go back a bit further than they did before. I believe right now we're at 3 or 4 feet between the rows. It's really impossible to go to 6 feet between the rows without people ending up sitting back by the kitchen counter. And in relation to this and the distancing issue, we're going to ask the impossible of parents in regard to your children. Some of the younger ones like to run and play before and after the services. With the present situation, because of the virus, we're asking that you do your best to keep them with you to help with the social distancing issues. We don't want children running into or getting close to people who want to maintain the social distance. So if you can help us with that, I know it's asking a lot, and I'm not saying that sarcastically. It's hard to keep track of all of them, especially the younger ones, and especially for those who have a large family. But if you could try to do your best of keeping the kids with you and not allowing them to run and play. There's a few other details that we would like you to be aware of as we seek to minimize exposure to the virus in the building. First of all, the drinking fountains in the hallway will not be operational. They're going to be turned off. We'll have signs there to let you know that. And along with that, the kitchen will be closed and locked, and we will not be offering coffee or snacks before or after the service. So because of that, we recommend that you bring your own drinks if you need something. There's a lot of you who like to have coffee to help you stay awake when my superpower is trying to put you to sleep and that struggle is happening. If you need that, encourage you to bring it with you, but we won't have it out for you when you arrive. Also, and then I know this is another inconvenience for parents, but the nursery and the cry room will be closed. We just feel like that's going to be a germ factory if we open that up. And again, we realize that presents difficulties for some of you, but we believe it's the only way to protect the most vulnerable in our midst. I think that if you have your child in the service with you and your child starts to cry, I think people are going to be patient with that. They have been in the past, and especially right now. If you feel like they're just making way too much noise, you can go to the back by the door and possibly listen back there. We will not be having any immersion groups or children's ministries. That is normal for the summer. It's not because of the virus, but because we won't be having those groups for the summer. All of the classrooms will remain locked, along with the office area. The door to the office area will remain locked, and the hallway doors leading to the offices and to the nursery will also remain locked. Basically, we're closing off these parts of the building to help reduce with the amount of sanitizing that's required following the services. We will be sanitizing after the service is over to try and make sure the building is clean. And so that just reduces that workload, particularly for Elizabeth, by closing off areas that really aren't needed. And then finally, we understand, as elders in particular, and I think again our church body understands, that some of you are not comfortable with regathering at this time. You think it's too soon. I understand that. Sometimes I wonder whether or not we should be reopening right now. But again, we're trying to balance the need for us to gather and the risks that are involved there. So I understand that there's going to be some of you that are not comfortable with that right now. Or you may be an individual, and I know that we have several of these in the congregation, whose personal health situation really prohibits you from regathering right now. You may have underlying health issues that it's just not best for you to be exposed. And so we want you to know, as elders, we want you to know that we support you in that decision. And we will not judge if you choose not to attend. We're not going to sit around and think you're bad people and you don't love Jesus enough or something like that. We're going to support you in that. Now, if you decided while this whole thing has been going on that you want to find another church, that's your choice. I wouldn't be excited about that. But if that's the case, please let us know that. That would be helpful. And if we see that you're not there, we'll be checking in to make sure that you're okay. I'm going to continue to post a video of the sermon each week. So that will be available by 9 a.m. on Sunday morning, or at 9 a.m. on Sunday morning, both on our Facebook page, Northbrook's Facebook page, and it will also be available on our YouTube channel as it has been. Our long-term plan is to live stream the service each week, and if that all comes together, we'll continue to do that into the future, regardless of the virus issue. Hopefully these things let you know what to expect when you come, and I hope that you will give us the benefit of the doubt as elders. There's so many articles out there right now within the Christian realm of concerns about these types of decisions causing division within churches. I have said to other pastors, as we've talked about that, they've asked, how do you think the people of your church will take this? And my response to them has been consistent, that I really can't see Northbrook dividing over that. I don't sense that in our family, our church family. I trust you guys, and I know the other elders do, that you're going to want to make the main thing, the worship of God. And, I was thinking personally, I am really tired of listening to the news and hearing wall-to-wall virus coverage, and turning on the television to watch something and it's wall-to-wall commercials related to the virus situation, or conversations that are going on are wall-to-wall virus conversations. I don't think it's wrong to talk about how it's affecting your lives. Our body, our family, it's a place to talk about what's going on in life. And it is affecting many of you. But I would encourage you to think about how much you're focusing on that. And particularly, again, as we gather together to worship God, let's do our best to worship God through the difficulties of the virus, together, unified as people who are lovers of Jesus and lovers of one another. We would ask you, as elders, we'd ask you to continue to pray for us as we have to make decisions going forward. None of us want to have to make these decisions. I would just like to be able to go to church, just to be with other people. And I wish I didn't have the responsibility of making these decisions, but it just comes with the job description, so to speak. But continue to pray for us that we think in terms of what's best for everyone and not necessarily what's easiest for us. And I encourage you to continue to pray for one another. I know you are. But do please continue to pray for one another as God brings people to mind, be in a mindset of there's a reason why God brought them to my thoughts, and lift them to our Father. And I pray that we will continue to be people who seek to live for the praise of God and the good of others. Walk in grace.